Welcome, everyone. Today's video is not just another motivational speech. It is a warning, a reminder, a message that can change your life. Today, we are not talking about dreams. We are talking about the thing that turns dreams into reality: consistency. Let me say something honestly. Talent means nothing without consistency. I have seen many talented people staying at home, doing nothing with their abilities. And I have seen normal people achieving amazing things simply because they showed up every single day. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the richest. You don't need perfect English, a perfect background, or perfect support. What you truly need is this: choose one thing and work on it every day. Because in the end, your life is created by what you repeatedly do. Today, I will explain everything about the power of consistency from the beginning. I will share real examples and stories that will touch your heart. I will use simple and clear language so even beginners can understand. If you really want to grow, if you want to stop giving up, if you want to live the life you dream about, then stay until the end. This video speaks the truth. It is not fake motivation. It is not sweetened or softened. It is real. Real change comes from real words. If you feel stuck, tired, or like you're not moving forward, then this message is for you. Not just to inspire you for a short moment, but to wake something strong inside you. Let's talk about the one thing that can completely change your life: consistency. And remember, on this channel, you do more than learn English. You learn how to live, how to grow. So subscribe now. And let's begin this journey to learn something new every day. 1. What is consistency? Let's start from the base. What does consistency mean? Consistency means showing up again and again. Even when you feel tired, even when you don't want to, when you feel scared, hurt, or when no one's supporting you, you still show up. It means doing a small action every day instead of doing something big once and then never doing it again. It is not about being perfect. It is about being present again and again. Let's take an example. If you want to speak English fluently, do you think you will learn it in one day or 1 week? Of course not. But if you learn 5 new sentences each day, if you watch one English video every day, if you read a small paragraph daily, what happens after 6 months? After a year, your mind will start thinking in English. Your speaking will become more confident. That is consistency. Here's another example. Imagine you want to get in shape. You go to the gym once and train very hard for 3 hours. Then you do not go again for 2 months. Will anything change? No. But if you walk for 30 minutes each day, do 20 push-ups and eat a little healthier, then in 3 months you will feel different. In 6 months, people will notice. In 1 year, you will transform. The problem is that people want fast results, so they try something big once and then quit. But those who succeed are the ones who do small things with love and discipline every day. Consistency is not magic, but the results it gives can feel magical. 2. Why do people fail without consistency? Let me be completely honest. Most people don't fail because they are not smart. They fail because they lack discipline, patience, and consistency. Here is a truth many people do not say. Winners are not special. They are simply consistent. I know people who started with nothing: no money, no support, no confidence, no followers. But they chose one goal and showed up for it every single day. Now they are building businesses, inspiring others, and living their dreams. Not because they are lucky, but because they stayed consistent. Let me give you a strong example. Do you know the story of the bamboo tree? When you plant a bamboo seed, nothing grows for 5 years. You water it every day. You give it sunlight. You wait, but you see nothing. Then suddenly, in the 5th year, the bamboo shoots up to 80 feet in just 6 weeks. So what is the truth? Did it grow in 6 weeks or 5 years? The answer is 5 years, because during those years, The roots were growing deep underground. That is exactly how life works. You may not see results for months, but if you stop, you destroy your own growth. If you continue, one day you rise, and when you rise, it happens fast. Never confuse slow growth with no growth. 3. How consistency builds self-respect. This is one of the most underrated benefits of consistency. It not only builds skills, it builds you. Every time you say, I will wake up early, and you actually do it, you build trust with yourself. Every time you say, I will practice today, and you do it, you feel stronger, prouder, more confident. But every time you say you will do something and you don't do it, you lose a little bit of respect for yourself. You begin to believe things like, I can't stay committed. I'm lazy. I will never change. This mindset is dangerous because how you see yourself affects how you live your life. Here's the good part. You can rebuild your self-respect. Start with one small habit. Maybe read 1 page a day. Maybe learn 3 new English words a day. Maybe wake up only 10 minutes earlier. Whatever you choose, do it every day. Soon your mind will say, I'm not lazy. I take action. I'm consistent. I am strong. And from that point, everything begins to change. 4. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. Dreams are beautiful, but dreams without action stay only in your imagination. Everyone dreams of being rich, confident, fit, respected, and fluent, but not everyone is willing to walk the bridge. And that bridge is called consistency. Without consistency, dreams stay dreams. With consistency, dreams turn into goals. Goals turn into plans. Plans turn into reality. Let me share the example of J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. She was rejected by 12 publishers. She was a single mother, broke and depressed, but she continued writing every day even when no one believed in her. Then one day, a publisher accepted her book. Today, she is one of the most successful authors in history. What if she had quit? The world would never have known Harry Potter. That is what consistency does. It brings hidden magic into the world. The same is true for you. You have something special inside you, a gift, a light, a voice. But unless you show up every day, no one will see it. So ask yourself, will you continue quitting on your dreams, or will you show up daily until your dreams become your life? 5. Motivation will fail you, but consistency will save you. Here is a tough truth. Motivation is unreliable. When you feel motivated, everything seems easy. Why? Oh, you wake up early, you work hard, and you feel powerful. But what happens the next day? When it's raining, when you're tired, when life gives you problems, suddenly the motivation disappears. You don't feel like doing anything. And this is the moment when most people quit. They think, if I don't feel motivated, I can't do it. But successful people understand one important thing. You don't need motivation. You need consistency. Let me give you an example you will never forget. Imagine a mother with a newborn baby. She wakes up at 2 a.m. to feed the baby. She holds the baby, sings to the baby, comforts the baby. She hasn't slept properly for days. She is exhausted. But ask yourself, is she motivated every night? No. Is she excited every time the baby cries? Of course not. But she still does everything. Why? Because she has a deep reason. Because she has responsibility. Because love and purpose are stronger than emotions. That is real consistency. If you treat your dreams with the same seriousness, you will stop waiting for motivation, and you will start showing up no matter what. Consistency means doing the right thing even when you don't feel like it. Winners depend on discipline, not on mood. 6. Small steps every day create huge results over time. Most people think they can achieve a lot in one day, but they underestimate how much they can achieve in 1 year. They want big changes fast. They try to study 10 hours in one day. They try to lose 10 kilograms in 1 week. They try to build a business in 2 months. And when they don't see quick results, they quit. They start saying, "It's not working. Maybe this is not for me. I don't see progress." But here's the truth. Success is not something that happens in one day. Success is built slowly through daily commitment. Let me tell you a real story. A man wanted to write a book, but he didn't have time. So he decided to write just one sentence a day. No pressure, just one sentence. Some days he wrote more. Some days only that one line. But he never stopped. After 1 year, his book was finished, not because he rushed, but because he stayed consistent. This is a secret. A small drop of water falling every day can break even the strongest rock. Not because the drop is powerful, but because it keeps falling. You don't need to do everything today. You only need to do something every day. And if you continue, one day you will realize you built something big. Success grows in silence, one small step at a time. 7. Consistency turns struggle into strength. Struggles are not there to stop you. They are there to train you. But they can only help you if you keep going, not if you run away. Think about your first time in the gym. Your muscles hurt, you feel weak, you feel like quitting. But if you return every day, that same pain becomes strength. That weakness turns into power. Those shaky hands become strong muscles. This applies to everything: learning, discipline, language, confidence. In the beginning, everything feels uncomfortable. You make mistakes. People may laugh at you. You may feel like you're failing. But if you continue, the thing that was once your biggest weakness becomes your greatest strength. Let me give you a strong example. There was a boy who stuttered. He couldn't speak clearly. People laughed when he talked. Even his teacher told him to avoid speaking in public. But he refused to quit. He practiced in front of the mirror every day. He read books aloud. He recorded his voice and corrected himself. He joined debate clubs, even when people made fun of him. That boy became one of the world's most famous speakers, Eric Thomas. What made him unstoppable? Consistency in struggle. Remember, pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. 8. Consistency creates habits, and habits create your future. Everything you do repeatedly becomes a habit. And your habits shape your identity, your lifestyle, and your results. If you read every day, you become a reader. If you train every day, you become an athlete. If you study English every day, you become a fluent speaker. If you quit every time things get hard, you become someone who gives up easily. People often say, "I want to change my life," but they don't understand that changing your life starts with changing what you do every single day. A better life is built from better habits. And better habits are built through consistency, not through random bursts of motivation. Think of your daily routine as the architect of your future. If you have good habits, your future becomes strong. If you have bad habits, your future becomes weak. Something as small as waking up 15 minutes earlier, practicing 20 new English words, or writing a daily journal can change how you think, how you act, and how you grow. Consistency turns actions into habits, habits into personality, and personality into destiny. 9. Consistency builds confidence because you see your own progress. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. When you show up every day, even for a few minutes, you start to see improvement. Maybe you speak English a little more clearly. Maybe you feel stronger during a workout. Maybe your work becomes easier. These small achievements create real confidence. People think confidence means believing in yourself, but the truth is deeper. Confidence means trusting yourself because of your actions. When you consistently do the work, your mind starts saying, "I can do this. I always show up. I am improving." This is the type of confidence that can take you very far in life. But if you quit often, confidence disappears. You stop believing in yourself. That is why consistency is so important. It lets you see your own growth. And when you see progress with your own eyes, your confidence becomes unbreakable. 10. Consistency protects you from fear and overthinking. Many people fail not because they can't do something, but because they think too much about what could go wrong. They worry about making mistakes, being judged, being too slow, or not being perfect. This fear stops them before they even start. But consistency is the cure. When you take action every day, you don't give fear time to control you. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't wait to feel ready. You simply do the work, and the action silences your doubts. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone wants to start speaking English. They wait and wait because they think, what if I make a mistake? What if people laugh at my accent? What if I sound stupid? Then weeks pass, months pass, a whole year passes, and they still don't speak. But another person decides to practice every day, even if they make 20 mistakes. After a few weeks, they feel more comfortable. After a few months, their speaking becomes smoother. After a year, they are fluent. The difference is simple. One person let fear win. The other let consistency win. Action kills fear. Consistency keeps you moving. 11. Consistency teaches patience, which is a superpower. We live in a world where everyone wants fast results. People want to get rich quickly, become fluent instantly, build a perfect body in 1 month, or get famous overnight. When results don't come fast, they feel disappointed and stop trying. But real success doesn't work this way. Real success asks for patience, and patience grows through consistency. When you show up every day, you slowly learn to wait for results without losing hope. You understand that big achievements take time. You learn to trust the process. You learn to enjoy the journey instead of obsessing over the final goal. Patience becomes your strength, and because of this strength, you go further than the people who give up too soon. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds. He doesn't check the soil every day asking, why is nothing growing? He knows growth is happening even if he can't see it. He waters the seeds daily and waits. That is patience. That is consistency. And eventually, the seeds grow into a beautiful harvest. Your dreams are exactly the same. They grow in silence. 12. Consistency helps you defeat your old self. Every person has two versions, the old self and the improved self. The old self is lazy, scared, and full of excuses. The improved self is disciplined, focused, and full of effort. Every day you choose which version you feed. If you stay consistent, the improved version becomes stronger. If you skip your tasks, the old version becomes stronger. This is why consistency is not only a habit, it is a battle, a daily fight between who you were and who you want to become. Every time you show up, even for 10 minutes, you are telling your old self, I am not the same. I am changing. And every time you skip your work, you give your old self more control. Change does not happen in one big moment. It happens through hundreds of small decisions where you choose discipline over comfort. Your improved self is built through consistency. 13. Consistency makes you stand out in a world full of quitters. Let me say something very clearly. Most people quit. They quit their goals, their habits, their dreams, and even their potential. They start excited and disappear after a few days. They say they want something, but their actions show something different. This is why consistency is so powerful, because it is rare. When you show up every day, you immediately stand out from the crowd. You become someone people admire. You become someone who inspires others. You become someone others can trust. Employers respect consistent people. Friends depend on consistent people. The world gives opportunities to consistent people. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to do what most people refuse to do. Keep going even when it's boring, hard, or slow. Consistency makes you reliable, strong, and unforgettable in a world where most people disappear after the first challenge. 14. Consistency multiplies your results. There's a rule called compound effect. It means small actions done repeatedly grow into big results over time. For example, reading 10 pages a day becomes 12 full books a year. Doing 20 push-ups a day becomes over 7,000 push-ups a year. Learning 10 English words a day becomes 3,650 new words in a year. Saving a small amount of money daily becomes a huge amount later. This is the power of consistency. Small becomes big. Slow becomes fast. Simple becomes strong. Many people fail because they focus only on the short term. They say, 20 push-ups won't change my life. But 20 push-ups every day for a year absolutely will. The compound effect rewards you for staying committed. It is like interest on money. It grows more and more if you don't stop. Your future self will thank you for every small action you do today. 15. Consistency gives you control over your life. A lot of people feel lost because they let life push them around. They react to everything. They wait for inspiration. They wait for the right moment. They wait for someone to help them or tell them what to do. But when you build consistency, you stop waiting and start leading your own life. Consistency means you decide how your day will go. You decide what matters. You decide what you will work on. You take action even when life is not perfect. This creates a feeling of control, stability, and strength. You stop being a passenger in your own life and become the driver. When you are consistent, you stop letting emotions decide your future. You stop letting problems destroy your progress. You stop waking up feeling lost. Every day becomes a step towards something meaningful. You feel more organized, more balanced, and more powerful because you know exactly what you need to do. 16. Consistency builds discipline. And discipline builds freedom. Most people think discipline means being strict or forcing yourself to do things you don't like. But that's not true. Discipline is freedom. When you are disciplined, you don't have to worry about falling behind. You don't panic before exams. You don't stress about your goals. You don't feel guilty about being unproductive. You feel peaceful because you know you are taking care of your future. Consistency trains discipline like a muscle. Every day you show up, you become stronger. And with more discipline, you get more freedom. Freedom to choose your path, to create your life, to avoid stress, to stay focused, and to say no to distractions. For example, someone who studies 20 minutes of English every day has more freedom in the future because they don't need to struggle for years. Someone who saves a little money every day has more financial freedom later. Someone who trains daily has more health freedom. Discipline built through consistency brings long-term comfort, not short-term suffering. 17. Consistency teaches you to trust the process most of the time. Progress is invisible. You don't see it happening day by day. You may study and feel like you still don't know enough. You may train and feel like nothing changes. You may work on a project and feel like it's going nowhere. This is when people lose patience and quit. But consistency teaches you something important. Trust the process even when results are not visible yet. Consistency shows you that progress often works in silence. You improve little by little, and then suddenly everything becomes easier. You start understanding more. You start performing better. People start noticing your growth. It's like ice melting. You heat the ice from 0 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius, then 2 degrees Celsius, then 3 degrees Celsius. Nothing happens. You keep heating it. For degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius, 6 degrees Celsius, still nothing. But when it reaches 0 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius, the ice suddenly melts. That doesn't mean nothing happened before. All the earlier heat was necessary to reach the point of change. This is what consistency does. It builds pressure until you break through. 18. Consistency forces you to eliminate excuses when you commit to daily action. Excuses become smaller. You stop saying things like, I'm tired. I don't have time. I'll do it tomorrow. It's too hard. I'm not ready. Consistency pushes you to find solutions instead of excuses. If you don't have time, you find a smaller task. If you don't have energy, you do a lighter version. If you feel stressed, you still do something tiny. This builds a stronger mindset, one that refuses to give up. Excuses come from comfort. Consistency destroys comfort. Every day you show up, you become more disciplined and less dependent on your mood. You begin to see that excuses are just limitations you create in your own mind. Once you remove them, your life opens up with possibilities. 19. Consistency produces real change, not temporary improvement. Anyone can change for a week. Anyone can be productive for 3 days. Anyone can study hard for one night or go to the gym twice. But real change happens when you keep going long after the excitement is gone. Temporary effort brings temporary results. Consistent effort brings permanent change. Think of it like cleaning your room. If you clean it once, it looks good for a short time. But if you clean it a little every day, it stays clean. The same is true for your mind, your skills, your habits, and your future. Consistency makes your improvement steady and long-lasting. It turns short-term success into a lifestyle. Real change is not something you feel immediately. It's something that builds slowly until one day you realize, I'm not the same person anymore. Your mindset changes, your confidence grows, and your skills become stronger. It all begins with consistency. 20. Consistency separates dreamers from achievers. Everybody dreams. Everybody wants a better life. Everybody imagines success, respect, confidence, money, travel, and freedom. But dreams alone mean nothing. The world is full of people who dream but never act. The difference between dreamers and achievers is simple. Achievers show up every day. Achievers don't wait for someone to motivate them. They don't wait for the perfect plan. They don't wait for life to get easier. They start with what they have, where they are, and they move forward one step at a time. Dreamers talk. Achievers act. Dreamers hope. Achievers work. Dreamers complain. Achievers improve. Dreamers stop when they feel tired. Achievers continue even when they feel tired. If you want to be an achiever, don't just imagine your goals. Work for them every day. Let consistency be the proof that you are serious about your future. 21. Consistency gives you momentum. Momentum is a feeling of progress that pushes you forward. It's like running downhill. Once you start, it becomes easier and faster. But momentum only appears when you take action every day. If you study daily, learning becomes natural. If you exercise daily, movement becomes easier. If you work on your goals daily, ideas come faster. People who struggle with goals usually don't have momentum. They start, stop, restart, quit, and try again. They lose all the power they could have built. Consistency fixes this. When you do something every single day, the action becomes smoother. You no longer fight with yourself. You stop wasting energy trying to start again. Momentum is one of the strongest forces you can have in life. Once it's on your side, nothing can stop you. 22. Consistency requires sacrifice, and that's why it's valuable, let's be honest. Consistency sometimes means giving up comfort. You may need to wake up earlier, work a little longer, ignore distractions, or say no to things that waste your time. But this sacrifice is small compared to what you gain. You give up laziness, but gain discipline. You give up free time, but gain a better future. You give up excuses, but gain confidence. You give up comfort, but gain freedom. Everything important in life requires sacrifice. The question is, Are you willing to give something today to achieve something bigger tomorrow? Most people are not willing to do this. That's why consistency is rare and powerful. It shows you are committed, serious, and ready to grow. The sacrifices you make today become the rewards you enjoy later. 23. Consistency makes your future predictable. Many people feel confused about their future because they don't know where they're going. They change plans all the time, switch goals, and jump between ideas. But when you stay consistent with one goal, your future becomes much clearer. If you study English every day, you know you will become fluent. If you work out every day, you know you will get stronger. If you save money every day, you know you will build wealth. If you practice your skills every day, you know you will become better. Consistency removes uncertainty. It shows you exactly what kind of future you are creating. You don't need luck. You don't need miracles. You simply need steady progress. Your daily actions become a map that leads you to the life you want. 24. Consistency makes success a natural result. Success is not something magical. It is not a secret. It is not something only special people get. Success is the natural result of consistent actions over time. If you do the right thing long enough, success becomes unavoidable. People look at successful individuals and think they are lucky, they are talented. But most of the time, the truth is simple. They stayed consistent when others quit. A strong body comes from consistent training. A fluent mind comes from consistent learning. A stable life comes from consistent habits. A successful business comes from consistent effort. A confident personality comes from consistent discipline. Success is never an accident. It is a chain of small actions that build up until your life looks completely different. 25. So what should you do now? You don't need to change your whole life in one day. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to feel motivated. You only need to take one small action today, and then repeat it tomorrow and the next day and the next. Choose one goal. Choose one habit. Choose one daily action, and stay consistent with it. Maybe it's studying 15 minutes of English. Maybe it's walking 20 minutes. Maybe it's reading 5 pages. Maybe it's writing your thoughts every night. Maybe it's practicing a new skill. Do it every day, even when it feels boring. Even when it's hard, even when no one sees your progress. Remember, the world might not notice your effort at first, but your future self will thank you for every minute you invested. 26. Final message, let me finish with this. Your life will not change because of one big decision. Your life will change because of hundreds of small decisions, repeated consistently. Your habits are shaping your future right now. Your daily actions are building your future identity. Your discipline is creating your future comfort. Your consistency is designing your future success. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop starting and stopping. Start today. Stay consistent. Your future is watching you. Make it proud.